It appears to be happening again. We start today with major breaking news. The failed, twice indicted, twice impeached former President Donald Trump has been notified that he is indeed a criminal target of Jack Smith, the special prosecutor's January 6th investigation related to Trump's attempt to overturn the election, wanting to be president, even though he lost to Joe Biden. I know it's crazy that we have to explain that, but that is a different possible set of criminal charges than what he has already been charged with federally related to the classified documents. And of course, completely separate from the charges in New York and completely separate from the potentially forthcoming charges out of Georgia and Fani Willis's investigation. Let's get to the very beginning of all of it. The New York Times reporting Trump says he is target in special counsel's investigation into January 6th. It would be the second time the special counsel has notified the former president that he is likely to face indictment, this time in connection with the criminal investigation of the Capitol attack. We will talk about the so-called weaponization of the Department of Justice and all of those things. But in order to even have that conversation, which is a relatively silly conversation to have, let's be honest, we need to understand what is going on here. The New York Times reports Trump was informed by his lawyers Sunday he received the so-called target letter from Jack Smith, the special counsel investigating his attempts to reverse his defeat at the polls, according to what Trump said yesterday. Prosecutors use target letters to tell potential defendants that investigators have evidence tying them to crimes. This is a critical point. You don't get a letter because your name has come up and you are among a list of a dozen people that are simply being looked at. Target letter means some evidence they already have, and that is of critical importance here. We will get to Trump's response to this in a moment, so we will keep that separate. Mr. Smith's spokesman has no comment. An indictment of Trump would be the second brought by Jack Smith, also prosecuting the former president for risking national security secrets by taking classified documents from the White House for obstructing the government efforts to reclaim the material. Trump is also under indictment in Manhattan on charges related to hush money payments to a porn star before the election of 2016. And he faces the likelihood of charges from the district attorney in Fulton County, Georgia, who has been conducting a wide-ranging inquiry into Trump's attempts to reverse his 2020 election loss. Also critical, it is not clear what specific charges Smith and prosecutors might be considering. They appear to have assembled evidence about an array of tactics Trump and allies used to try to stave off his election defeat. Interestingly, the thoroughness of Jack Smith has recently come to light because we learned that Jack Smith has been in contact with Arizona officials, where we know Trump also tried to pull the fake elector scam and the pressuring the governor to help him scam and all of these different things. We actually still don't know how wide-ranging these charges will be. A month ago, if you had asked me which of these actual and potential future charges do I believe could be the most serious, I would have unquestionably said Georgia. Georgia, where Fani Willis is looking into Trump's attempts to strong-arm officials there. Remember the infamous I need 11,000 votes, give me a break, etc. I would have said that is where the most serious charges will certainly stem. Now that we've learned about the thorough nature of Jack Smith's investigation when it comes to strong-arming officials, looking not just at what happened in D.C. with the riot itself, but looking in Georgia, looking in Arizona, looking in Michigan, and looking other places, it is at least on par in terms of its potential seriousness with what Fani Willis may bring forward. Now, there is a question that has been brought up mostly by right-wing media types about, will the country become so used to the former president getting arrested that it won't really make a difference anymore? And we are going to discuss that in detail later as well. But think of that for a second. Think about how absurd and surreal a situation we have if it is even a conversation that, this former president's been arrested so many times, it's not really that clear it will make a difference anymore to people. That is an incredible commentary on the circumstances in which we find ourselves, their unprecedented nature, and what we talked about 6 years ago, hyper-normalization. We all were affected by this, particularly those of us who followed the last 6 years of criminality, alleged criminality by Trump closely, which is it gets so ridiculous so often that it does, in a sense, desensitize us. When Trump used a Sharpie to change a hurricane map to be more politically convenient, it was crazy. And we all looked at it and said, this is, dear God, this is unbelievable. But our reaction was not what it would have been if, for example, Barack Obama had done that in 2015, because we had already been desensitized to a degree to the insanity and absurdity of this man. And so while I disagree with those who are now saying the arrests don't even make news anymore because it's happening so often, I disagree with that. There is an element of desensitization. I can't think of any other word to what is going on, and what is going on is completely unprecedented. One other interesting point related to the Target letter. Trump says that Jack Smith gave him 4 days to appear before the grand jury if he wants to explain himself. That short timeline does suggest we may be getting to a third arrest very, very soon. If and when it happens, we will cover it. Let's next discuss Donald Trump's reaction. So summertime is in full swing. It's hot. It's humid. When you get sweaty, many of us know all too well what it means when you wear traditional underwear. It's the sticking, rubbing, and chafing. It is not pleasant. That's why our sponsor, Sheath Underwear, has been a game changer for so many people. Sheath Underwear is ergonomically designed with a pouch in the front. Keep everything comfortable and separate. When you wear the sheath underwear, everything stays dry and cool. Instead of sticking together, you feel the air flowing. It's great. It's really something you have to try to understand. This has been my go-to underwear for years, all year round, but especially when it's hot outside. The humidity is bonkers. They have plenty of different colors and styles, something for everybody, and the sticking and the readjusting. Experience underwear comfort like you have never felt before. Try Sheath. Go to sheathunderwear.com/Pacman and use the code Pacman for 20% off. That's SHEATH underwear.com/ and use the code Pacman for 20% off. The info is in the podcast notes. Okay, that seems like an error, so I'm going to redo it one more time. That's SHEATH underwear.com/Pacman. Use the code Pacman for 20% off. The link is in the podcast notes.